things. And so I would just put a minimum amount of time, keep moving it forward over the next couple weeks, but then put most of your time into finding new, better leads is what I would actually start focusing on.
All right, sounds good, Mike.
Okay, good luck, man. Hey,
All right,
Glory,
man.
before we jump into calling the contractors, you said something about you have a water bill problem. I wanted to ask you about that very quickly. If you can talk, if not, I'll get to it right after.
Yeah, yes, Mike. There is no meter inside the house.
There's no meter, so you haven't, the water bill didn't get changed over into your name?
It didn't.
Oh.
We just connected the water and just use it, and then we never call for installation, and there is no meter. And then now the title company cannot get a final water bill. So when I called WSSC, they said I go to the house and read the meter. When I told them there is no meter, they keep telling me, no, that house has to have a meter. There is a meter. So I don't know.
Well, we'll send them out to read the meter. Say, when can you come read the meter? So what you want to ask is ask them if there's a way they can escrow money or something for the water bill or something like that. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know. You're using the water, so they have no way that they're going to, I don't know. You just say no one's been living there is what you tell the water company. Say no one's been living there and there's no water meter, and it's been a vacant house. So it's in good condition, but no one's there to use water. No one's living in the house. So that's what you got to tell them, and just say, I need somebody to put a water meter in. So you might need to figure out I didn't realize you didn't have a water meter, or you didn't have, I don't know, I guess you illegally hooked it up, but you're going to have to figure that out. But what I would start to try to have conversations with your buyer is, just trying to figure out, can we escrow until we can get the information, like put, a couple grand in escrow until we can figure it out. Cause, and then you got to figure it out.
When I call the water company, they are saying, they don't go out now. They don't go out to any property because of COVID-19, blah, blah, blah. Just keep saying that. But when they were saying it, in the line of coming to figure out where the water meter is, because they cannot believe there is no water meter.
Well, you tell them there's clearly not a water meter, because I don't know. Well, how do you know there's no water meter?
There is none. I know there is none because I have not seen no water meter in there since from day one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should have said something about that a long time ago. I mean, that would be something you should have handled a while back, probably.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
The water, a lot of times in PG County, the water meter is out on the sidewalk underground, and you need a key for that cover. And the master plumber has a key. So the water, a lot of times the water meter is at the water service coming in. So it's not something you would typically see in a house sometimes.
There you go. Well, that's good feedback. So can you get them to just come out and read it? I mean, can they just come read the water meter? Because if it's just say, hey, I think it's outside, that's your only chance. If it ain't inside, then hopefully it's outside. And then if someone's coming out to read it, then that would trigger, just have someone to come read it.
So I'm telling them it is outside. The water meter is outside. They keep refusing, saying that house water meter is inside, not out. And I know it's outside because the plumbers used to go there, open the thing up, and then connect the water, make it come to my house.
Yeah. Just tell them it's definitely outside. Just say, look, we got plumbing done here, and it was definitely outside when they did the plumbing. I hear what you're saying, but we need a water bill. Like, I'm selling the house. We need a water bill. What are you guys going to do? Look, this is how you deal with them. They're a headache. Just like Ben was saying, it's hard to get, you got to dollar for dollars. You got to drive these people crazy and keep talking to someone until you get someone that actually has common sense and is willing to help you. And it just requires you constantly going over and over with them, right? You just have to constantly do that. So personally, I would say, that's the secret to what you have to do right now. So stay on them until you get someone else that's like, yes, I will get someone out there. Just, I need a bill. Like, I can't, how am I supposed to pay you guys? I need the water meter read. Period. I mean, and if they say we're not coming out the houses, just be like, it's on the end, it's outside, number one. And then number two, no one lives in the house. It's a vacant home. Yeah. So no one's living there, but it is not on the inside. I just renovated the home. It's definitely on the outside. So just tell them it's definitely there. Like, what do you need to get someone to give me a water? And then just, if somebody says no, then say, hey, take me to your manager, take me to your manager, take me to the president of the United States. I don't care. Just stay on the phone and mess with people until they give you another answer. Like always, by the way, Gloria, you always call and you're like, oh my God, they won't do this. And then you give up. You can't give up. This is one of those things you can't give up on until you get the answer you want. You just have to be persistent until they finally give in. Someone tells you what you want to hear. Make sense? So go back and do more of that, and then try to get some clarity, because that's going to be my best advice to you.
At the end of it, we'll have to get them to come and put the meter before they can get a bill they're asking for.
Well, if there's a meter there, then they just got to come read it. And like if Brian said it's likely on the outside, and you're saying you seen the guy going out there working on it, then that makes sense.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Yeah, that makes sense. They don't do that in Baltimore, but that makes sense. So I never even knew that was the thing. So that's likely where it is. It's probably just out on the street, and where people can't mess with it. That's why they're putting it out there. It's actually slick because people like to break into them and mess with them and steal them too. So they can't really steal it out there easily.
Yeah, the master plumber usually has a key to it.
So just ask them what you need. Just get on the phone and have more conversations and reach out to me once, because like right now, I hear what your first conversation was, but let's keep having them until you hear something different. Now you have more information now than you did before you called the first time. Now you're clear that you can be like, it's out on the street for sure. I know factually. Do you need me to get someone to, like the plumber said it was out there. It's definitely out there. I need you guys to come read it. I'm trying to sell the house and I need to get a bill from you. What do I need to do to get my meter read so I can pay you guys the money I owe you? That's it. So just say, look, I need that happening ASAP, because they're still working and they still can do stuff. So don't, just if they tell you no, just say, put me to your supervisor. That's how you do it. And you just keep calling, talking to people until someone finally says, okay. It's so interesting when you get to the right person. They'll be like, oh, no problem, Gloria. Yeah, we'll do this, this, and this, and it's all done. Why like 18 people tell you it can't happen. It's like just the way it is with BG&E, the way it is with Pepco. They're all insane. It's like craziness. Yeah, we'll come out in 2 months to do something. I'm like, cool, put me to your supervisor. Oh, 2 months also? Great, put me to your supervisor. Great. Okay, cool, let me call back and ask someone else. Right, and then I just keep asking. Someone will be like, yeah, we can get it out in a week. We'll do this. Some people are solution-based and other people aren't. So I don't want to spend the whole call talking about this, because I think you just need to go back to the drawing board. You have new information. Use that information now to have another conversation and just be pushy and tell them what you need. And then let me know how that works out. We'll talk a little more from there, okay?
Okay.
I think that'll be the next best step.
Hey, Mike.
Hey,
we got time to go over some of the phone calls today?
Did you make the phone calls?
No, I haven't. I thought we were going over it.
Are you saying so I can make the calls? Because that's what I was planning on doing.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to make the calls right now, actually. So that's what I was getting ready to do. And then I'll answer some questions after that. But I don't want to get too late because people won't stop answering. So I want to get to the calls while we can, because we get too late. People are going to stop answering their phone.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. All right. Appreciate that.
All right, let's see. Who was our first guy? Remember the names of the people? I did a lot of jobs and big experience working in. Currently, I'm working with First Freedom Company. This guy's Stefan. Let's call him first. So we're going to start with Stefan. He was a guy that said he's done a lot of jobs for rehabbers. But let's give him, anybody can mute yourself so I don't have anybody making noise in the background. I'm going to mute you guys. Cool. I'm going to keep myself good. And let's give Stefan a call. Try to look at his number, make sure I can actually see it.
Please leave your message for 44356293991.
Hey, Stefan, this is Michael Green. You sent a form to interview for a job for some carpentry work off Craigslist. You replied to one of my ads. Do you mind giving me a call when you're free at 443-858-3317? I want to talk to you about some work that I need done in the house that I have coming up if you're free. Call me as soon as possible. I'd like to see what you got going on and talk a little more from there. Okay. Thanks, Stefan. See you, man. All right, let's call the next one. Who was the next one, Pete?
The next guy was Tavon, but he was like a maybe. He's on a maybe. But the next good guy was like Michael Moore.
Yeah, he's like, on a real maybe if that's the same Tavon, but you call and see if it's the same Tavon just in case it is. Since we didn't get a hold of the first one. The number didn't come up, so that's the first start.
Hello.
Hey, Tavon.
Speaking.
Hey, man, you responded to an ad I put out on Craigslist for a carpenter.
Did I? What kind of carpentry? What kind of carpentry is it?
I mean, I think it was like trim and doors, cabinets, stuff like that, general stuff. Is that something you do?
Yeah, I'm a carpenter by trade, and now I do nursing. So I'm trying to think when did although I know I'm looking for some side work, but I just don't remember doing it. But if you had some work, yeah, I'm always willing to do some work. You say windows and doors?
Well, it's like doors, trim. I mean, that's basically cabinets, tile. What is it you do exactly?
I do drywall. I do trim work. I do framing work. I do cabinetries. I do tile. I do exterior work. I do siding. I do gutter work.
Okay.
I've been a carpenter for over 20 years. My transitioning has been nursing, which I've been doing for the last 2 or 3 years now. But I jump back and forth doing side work as carpentry.
Okay. You said nursing, you mean like nursing?
Actual nursing.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay, you're probably pretty busy then right now with everything going on.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty busy. That's why I can't recall looking for the extra work, but I'm always willing to take on extra work.
Okay.
I do have my own group that I work with also, which, is very experienced just like me, which really I work with them, or say that backwards, they work with me. So, maybe I could have put it in for that. I'm not even sure, but.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll pass your number along to my partner, and then if you're free, maybe we can talk from there, okay?
Okay, that sounds great. And what's your name again?
Michael Green.
How you doing? Nice to meet you, Michael Green. I hope to hear from you again.
Yeah, I look forward to talking to you. Thanks, man. See ya.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Yeah, that was basically the blow-off, guys. Because, he was not going. I don't want to waste too much time on the call because I want to get to the right person. But, he's a nurse, busy, you know what I mean? I might do it on the side. I might know someone. That's not real commit. That's not too much commitment.
Yeah, it's not like a waste of time.
Basically, I mean, you would be begging him to do work. And he might be good at what he does. He might be pretty awesome, but he's definitely not committed to being like a carpenter. I don't know if he's good or he's bad. Yeah. I just know. So who's the next person?
Michael Moore, which is like
right here.
Number 7 on the list.
All right, let's give him a call. He's done 10 flips, lips. Okay, so I just want to remind myself, done 10 flips plus a little lipstick and 100K renovation. So that's what I wanted to ask him about. A little more detail on that. So see if he answers. Yeah, the guy's a nurse right now. Probably don't want to work with a nurse, man. A nurse, first of all, he probably got COVID. Second, got to be busy. Like, it's the busiest time ever for a nurse. So best you'd be begging him to do some work. Oh, cool. I'm gonna hit the button real quick.
Three 0 1 4 0 1 0 2 10 is not available.
Hey, Michael, this is Michael Green. You responded to an ad I put on Craigslist for carpenter. I'm looking for someone to do some work on one of my flips. And you said that you worked on some listings or lipstick or houses and maybe 100K renovations. We get a lot of business and a lot of houses that we do. And I'd love to speak with you about doing some work if you're free. Give me a call back or, at 443-858-3317. Send me a text when you're free to talk. Just like a couple minutes. I just want to see what you got going on and see if maybe you're available to do some work for me. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye. So actually, I just thought about something to add, everyone, is like letting them know to text me when they're available to talk, because that way I'll know it's them, because I'm not going to answer a random number. And I just started thinking like they'll call me and I'll never answer. But what I'm going to do, and this is really what this is, by the way, I want you to see real time how fast we usually, because most people don't answer, just for the record. We got pretty lucky the last time. I feel like we called 3 people and all 3 answered, which was uncommon, by the way. But if they don't answer, just leave a good voicemail. You'd be willing to send them a text if you want, but if you send them a text, then I guess they got your number anyhow, so you send them a text. And the people, you don't mind them calling you back and having your number. You just don't want everyone on Craigslist having your number, but the people you want to talk to, that's not a problem. So what'll happen likely tonight is hopefully we get on the phone with a few people, but we might just end up leaving a lot of messages. And if we leave a lot of messages, that's fine, as long as they start texting me back tomorrow and talking with me and communicating, we're on our way. Which I can tell you, not everyone's going to communicate back. Some people won't, but if they don't respond back to my voicemail, then that's a good sign that they're not really interested, period. That's all good. The people who do respond back will be the people that are actually kind of interested and seem motivated to work with me. So you can let them know to text you. And if you really wanted to, you could certainly text them and let them know who you are and, hey, to give you a text when they're free to talk sometime tomorrow. So that's how I'd be handling all these leads, right? I'd just be opening up the communication with them. That's all it really takes. And you see, we're like, I don't know, we're not even 10 minutes in and we're already through like 3 people, but let's keep going, because I want to get through all the people, because it ain't going to take us very long at this pace. And who's the next person?
The next person would be Lamar Taylor.
Skip to him. Okay. He's got a weird number. Let's see what he said about currently working on a project for New Leaf developers, redevelopers. Okay. We'll ask him about that if he actually answers. And sometimes people don't answer as much at 7 at night, so even at 6:30. But last time we did this, it was like pretty late at night, I remember, because and we had everybody answer, so I guess that's just luck of the draw. But it doesn't really matter if they answer. Like I said, just send them a text and let them know who you are and just say, hey, man, hit me up when you're free. They don't need to answer. They just need to, get the conversation going. Oops, crap. Hey, this is Lamar.
Yes.
Hey, Lamar, you responded to an ad on Craigslist to do some carpentry work I do some house flipping in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Hey, are you from Baltimore, or where are you from?
No, I'm from Virginia, but I do a lot of work in different parts of Maryland. Like, I just did a remodeling job in it's not Fort Knox. What is it called?
Fort Meade?
No, it's not Fort. Knoxville.
Oh, Knoxville,
Maryland.
Okay. Yeah, I know where that is. And then so I'm all the way up in Baltimore, so it might be a little bit far for you. I mean, where are you at in Virginia?
I'm in Fredericksburg. It's not that far. It's about an hour and a half. I don't mind driving. Yeah, I drive wherever I got to for work.
Okay, cool. And it said you're currently working on a project for New Leaf redevelopers.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Is that like a rehab? Is that what they're doing, like flipping it for money, or what are they doing with that?
Yeah, they're the one that we're doing right now. They are actually, I think they are renting it. They're gonna rent it out.
Okay.
There's another one in Cumberland, Maryland, that they want me to send a bid on. But that's a little far. I don't mind doing it, but yeah, it's a bigger job in Cumberland, Maryland right now.
Okay.
That they want me to send a bid on that too.
Cool. And how do you normally work with them? I mean, because we do a lot of flips all over Maryland, PG and AA County and Baltimore County. But we have usually like standardized pricing for each thing that you do. And, it's what our guys, because we do a lot of them. So we have to that way we don't waste your time running you out to get a bunch of estimates, especially if you're like an hour and a half away. So we can always like send you videos and stuff. Do you usually just like kind of price by the unit with everything?
Yeah. Well, this last one, the one that they just sent me in Cumberland, they have like
it broken down into 10 different things. They want 10 different estimates and all that. And really, like, my company's just starting out, you know, so I prefer something that's like a little more steady, you know what I mean? Like, because like then like you're saying with the price, with the price thing, the standard pricing and all that, like that, to me, that makes more sense, because now I don't have to sit there and be like, okay, so this job, now I got to sit here for 30, 40 minutes trying to figure out what to charge people. And
I know, it's a lot of work.
You know, yeah.
I hear you, man. That's why we've kind of gotten to this place, because it's what our contractors really like. Because look, if you're going to work for more subcontractor pricing and, you know, stay busy, then obviously you don't want to spend too much time estimating, other than like, you know, when you know you're going to have a good chance of getting the job, instead of like running to a lot of houses. So we try to make sure we don't run you around. We actually will usually measure it out for you, give video of it. So from that, like if you're doing flooring or something, you know, it's 300 foot of flooring, you got a quick video, we should be able to agree upon a price for the most part based off a video and some measurements and stuff. At least ballpark, know we're in the same ballpark, and that way you don't have to come do the estimate. So we like doing that, because I know our contractors are always really happy that they don't have to run around a bunch. Okay, so you're able to come up to here, and it probably is about an hour and 10 minutes or something. Basically what we got coming up soon is a little bit of framing, a little bit of like odds and ends. Is how many people? Is it like you and a couple people, or?
Yeah, I've got myself and I got two guys that typically work with me, and then I got two other guys that I call in here and there, you know, just depending on what I need to do. And then my wife, she actually comes in and helps out too, because she likes to learn that stuff. Because she, eventually later down the road, we want to be able to buy property and build our own house, instead of, because her grandparents built their house, and it's like just something that's like been going on in her family. So
yeah,
that was like something that she wanted to do. So I mean, like as far as like flooring and drywall and stuff like that, I've taught her how to do that so far. You know, it's kind of cool to be able to have somebody there that wants to learn that stuff, because, you know, it's hard to find good help, but if you can teach somebody and they want to learn, that's the best way to go.
I agree. Yeah, for sure. I mean, how'd you get into contracting?
I started out doing apartment maintenance when I was like 15, and then it gradually moved to working for a home improvement company, and then I moved to Orange, Virginia, and I worked for a home improvement company there. And then like I like the idea of being able to, at the end of the day, like you can see that you made progress. You know, like if you actually work the whole day, like your 8 hours or whatever, you know, some people work 8, some people work 10, some people work 12. It's all different. But if you work that whole time like you should, you know, at the end of the day, like it's just, I can't even think of the word. It's just like it feels good to be able to see the progress that you've made so far for the day, you know.
Yeah, it's very rewarding. I know. I used to do it myself for about 10 years. So it is fun to kind of like finish stuff up and complete stuff. So let me ask you, of all the things you do, it sounds like you're pretty good at a lot of things. What would you say you're best at, like where you know you're going to make the best money? Because, you know, some things you got more experience with, so you're going to be a little more efficient doing one thing versus the other.
Well, I'm really good. Like me personally, I'm pretty good with flooring and decks and, you know, like doors. But I've learned like yeah, you're right. I've learned a lot of different stuff, and then like some of the stuff that I'm like I don't feel like that I'm like great at, like that's usually the stuff that I try to learn myself, you know, instead of like if say like I'm doing a job and like there's something that I'm not sure how to do it, but one of my guys does, you know, instead of having them do it, I'll do that part, and then I'll send them to do something different, just because I want to make sure that, okay, I want to know next time that this comes up, I want to know that I can do it myself. I don't have to sit there and depend on anybody, because depending on people is definitely not the way to go either.
Yeah, for sure, man. I get it. Yeah, because mostly what I mean, I'm sure you probably can do most things well, but it's all about what you can do quickly enough to make money at it. I know I used to have certain things I made good money at. Like I used to do flooring, and I was great at doing like laminate and hardwood, and I could do tile, but then I could also sand floors. And I realized I was never good enough at sanding floors to make any real money. It was just kind of a big headache. I mean, I could make them look good, look like I knew what I was doing, but it just took me too long because they paid a certain amount per square foot, and if I didn't get it done quick enough, then I really kind of was like, almost breaking even essentially. So yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure out what that is for you, because I have a lot of work and I can put you in the right place so you're not kind of traveling an hour and a half and not really making the money you need to make. Generally, when you guys working, do you have like a set kind of like daily rate you're looking to make roughly?
It all depends. Like usually, like what the way I was doing it with New Leaf, it was about it. He was doing about I want to say it was like $720 a day for the three of us, and then so that was typically what he was doing, where we were as far as the job goes. But the job took a little longer so then it just kind of got to the point where it's like, all right, well, that kind of dwindled down a lot. But
I mean, I'll create pricing. I just want to make sure that obviously some people are looking to make like $3,000 a day for a couple people, and it's not always possible to do that. Because we have to make a little money too. We pay well, but at the same time, we got to make a little profits to stay in business when we sell the homes.
No, I understand. Like if I can make more than that a day, like that's great. Like that because that making that is just pretty much like being able to pay the expenses and then the labor, and myself as well. So if I can make more than that, granted, like that's great. But I would say like at the very minimum, I would hope to be able to hit that.
Sure. Okay. Well, awesome, man. Well, thank you for taking my call. I know it's later, and I'm going to send you my number to my partner, Petey, and he's probably going to be reaching out to you and having another conversation with you and see if it's something we can work out. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Cool, man. Have a good evening. See you.
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right, bye.
What did he say? He was trying to make $3,000 a day?
No, he said $700 for three people. That's about right. That sounds pretty reasonable. So he's okay. He's an hour and a half away. So he's there, but let's see if we can do better.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying he couldn't be someone we could work with, but overall, I'd like to find. He sounded pretty reasonable, but at the same time, he is an hour and a half away. So, what's the next number? Who's the next person?
We got Ed.
Ed, it's fine. Oh, there's Ed. Found him. But yeah, Fredericksburg, Virginia is a hike.
Yeah, that's a hike. I think the main takeaways is he does a lot of things. So just wondering, what does he do them all himself, or does he have guys for him just to see if he's a GC?
Honestly, seriously, when people are pretty good at their craft, they can do a lot of things well. So gotcha. He sounded pretty reasonably good to me. If he wasn't an hour and a half away, I'd be like, let's just test him on something small.
Gotcha. Oh no, I was talking about Ed, but he did sound pretty good.
Oh yeah, he sounded reasonably good. Like he'd be worth testing and just seeing what he can do. And but what you can do with someone like him and really anyone is you can just take a picture of the job, like I just told him, and just be like, here's what it is, here's how much work it is, and then just you should be able to see if you could agree upon the price on the phone without him even coming out. Because when you come out and meet people, it eats a lot of your time. So I would even suggest considering doing that more often. All right, let's see what Ed's deal is. You're right. Let's say it says, I work with investors for a couple of years, doing complete rehabs, from framing, flooring, electric, plumber, paint. Okay, cool. Let's talk to Ed and see what's up.
Please leave your message for
Edgar Martinez.
Hey, Ed, this is Michael Green. You left a message for me or responded to one of my ads on Craigslist about doing carpentry work. When you get a chance, I've got some work on some flips, and I wanted to see if you were available to do some carpentry stuff for me. Give me a call or text. Text would even be better, and let me know when you're free to talk at 443-858-3317. I look forward to talking to you. See you, man. Bye. So Ed actually is Spanish. So
that's awesome. He's Spanish, yeah.
He just went up in there. So he says this guy's the second one, but I think we avoided Sean Wilson. Who was the next guy?
Charles Bateman was the last guy. He's like the roofer guy, but does a whole bunch of other things as well.
You know who else does that, right?
Rick.
I'm just messing with you, man. You know I'm gonna tease you for life, dude. We're gonna be like 80, and I'm gonna be like, remember Fat Rick? If I'm alive,
yeah,
I'll probably be dead. I'll be 80. You'll be like 38. I'll be 80 though. That's the funny part. I'm still gonna be messing with you about Fat.
We ended up giving him $300 to kick rocks,
and that's it. And he just was like, whatever. He's a
he stole from us. He charged like $250 to our credit cards of like tools and like little cool stuff that he bought for himself. So he just told him like,
did he not do everything exactly I said he would do? I mean, dude, it's almost like I'm the fat. I told you he buys more materials than he needs. Like, and look, the sad thing is like he didn't pay that guy, and I don't know how that's gonna work out. But anyhow, Fat Rick is banned, man. We're gonna put him on the nationwide Flip Factor, do not contact list. Let's try to.
Hey, Mike, on that topic, does the group have a list?
No, we don't. But 1 second, we might actually. Hold on. Let me see if this guy answers. I think we have one on the Facebook group. Oh, hey, is Charles there? Hey, sorry, this is Michael Green. He responded to an ad actually.
Hello.
Hey, Charles, this is Michael Green. You responded to my ad on Craigslist about doing some carpentry work.
Oh, yes, sir. You had texted me something back that, not sure if it put me out of the running or I can't remember. Did you say something about the vehicle?
Yeah, well, what was it about the vehicle?
Tools.
Oh, you don't have any tools or vehicle?
Well, I currently have the tools. I just, I got that COVID check and I was going to look into buying a vehicle. I just didn't respond anymore to you because I haven't actually bought a vehicle yet.
Okay, yeah, well, you'll have one soon. So you guys, if you have our ad, just reach back out once you have a vehicle and we'll talk then, okay?
Okay.
Just want to check in
call
with you.
On this number or?
Yeah, no, well, actually, if you just reach out, this might be my number, but I don't actually do the calls, so the guy you want to talk to is my partner. But if you have the ad on Craigslist, if you kind of filled out an ad, you can just refill it out when you're ready.
Oh, cool. That'll work then.
All right, man. Have a nice evening. See you.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
All right.
That was called super efficient. So, like, come on, man. It's like his mom answered the phone, and it's like not even his cell phone. He's like, I don't have a car, and you don't even know where he is. He's like in another planet. Okay, we finally got one. You see how quick I was like, yeah, man, get a car. I mean, I'm not spending.
He apparently doesn't have a phone either.
That's clearly not his phone.
His own phone.
100% was not his phone. That was like his grandmother's phone or something. That made it even worse. It wasn't even like his girlfriend. It was clearly like his mom or something. So yeah, he's a trip. That guy's on drugs for sure. And he's like COVID check. I mean, that's just some stuff. That's like Brooklyn Park stuff there, Brooklyn. That's funny. Anyhow, you see, we didn't take much time with him because our time's valuable, and I'd rather get back to the list. So where we left off now is Lamar's okay. I'd like to talk to a few of the people we haven't. If I don't like what I hear, like Lamar is not someone I feel comfortable starting to meet at the property, essentially, right? I want to stay on working this list until I feel like I've got someone I really like. So ultimately, I'd like to talk to the 3 people we left messages for, and or 2 or 3, whatever it was, and then we might go into the list. Also, are you still running the ad currently? Are you still spending the $5 a day and running the ad now?
I believe so. Correct me if I'm wrong.
If not, put it back.
Wrong, Billy.
If you're not, just go back and start running it again, because right now I'm not loving so far. So I want to keep filling the funnel essentially until we get a winner or 2 in there, because I haven't heard anyone that's got me overly excited yet. And I don't want to come from a place of like, oh man, I'll take Lamar because there's no one else. I don't want to get so desperate we're calling up whoever that guy was and asking his grandmother to drive him to the house. Like, that's when it's really bad, but we're not that bad off. But even Lamar, like, he sounds like a nice guy, sounds capable, but he's an hour and a half away. It would be really nice to find a guy I liked as much as him that lived 20 minutes away. because hour and a half, I just happen to know it's difficult to make money. Now, the only thing I can tell you, there ain't a lot of work in Fredericksburg, Virginia. It's kind of like off the beaten path. There isn't a lot of work. So a lot of people who live there are used to traveling like an hour. They definitely have to travel to make money. So that's, I hear that from a lot of people. Traveling is not a big deal because you're kind of living out in the woods, to be honest. You know, you're not really, there isn't a whole lot of economy there, essentially. But still, every day he's spending an hour, hour and a half to get to your house. And your house is actually pretty far from Fredericksburg, Virginia. If you were in PG, this wouldn't be as big of a deal. It'd probably be an hour, hour and 10 minutes. I think you're an hour and a half away from him, pretty solid. So that's a long ride, man, to be spending 3-4 hours a day traveling. I just think that's a little much. But the fact he was talking about going to Cumberland and all that, I mean, he obviously is used to traveling, but it'd be nice to find someone that doesn't have to travel, right? Someone who can, it's just, you're looking for that good fit, right? We have the abundance to keep running the ad and let's look through it. Like, so keep filling your ad up and let's wait for a few people to call back. When they call back, what I'll do is I will record the phone call. Or I'll see if I can get on Facebook Live if a few of them text me back, and you know, I'll try to set up a call and I'll do a Facebook Live where you guys can listen to me talking to them on the Facebook group. And Billy, I do think we have a shitty contractor list, by the way. If you look into the documents on Facebook, I do believe that exists. So I know it did exist. I never really put anybody on it though.
Is Jason on there? Because I didn't put him on there.
Getting on there.
Put if anyone named Rick, whatever his name is, and I forget his last name. That's how he slips in because I always call him Fat Rick, and fortunately he doesn't reply. He doesn't reply to the ad as Fat Rick, or I would know he's who he is. Funny enough, he's always like
Richard Hall.
Richard Hall. So I do think it's in here somewhere. Let's see. It's probably in files. Let's take a look and see. I think we had like crappy contractor. I remember we had a list in here somewhere. Doesn't feel like it's in here anymore. I wouldn't have gotten rid of it. That's the thing. I don't want to get rid of anything. I'll look and see. Oh, maybe it's in the mastery. No, it would be in here. First call script. I remember we had one. I feel like Samira, I thought you started it, to be honest. I was like, fuck, you were the one that were like, you or someone, I remember started it because they were like,
no, not me. I didn't start it, but I do want to add somebody.
Okay, well, if you guys want to put a file up there and add something, then you're willing to do it. But I feel like there was. I'll keep a lookout and see if there is one. It's certainly worth doing. At the end of the day, like, you know, I would say focus on just getting better at picking people, and the list won't matter much because the problem is there's like 7,000 Fat Ricks. So like, I don't care how good that list was, you know, it's not going to really do you tons of favors. It will get you by some people, but at the end of the day, what'll keep you away from Fat Ricks and people like that is just getting abundant and being picky and just working this list until you find the right people. So that's something that's pretty important. We had a question. I want to answer that. Are you available to talk? Let's see if she's still on. I think she is. Yeah, so it looks like she's still on. Let's see if she can hear me.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey.
Hey.
Did you settle your house that you were selling?
Yeah, we just closed it.
Oh, good. Congratulations. That's great news. So are you now looking, or how are you doing on the house that you have currently? The renovation on that?
That one is probably 1 more month. We just need the drywall and its kitchen, the floor, this kind of thing. Then it's done.
Okay. So you got rough-ins done. So
yeah.
Are all those done now?
Yeah.
Have you passed everything?
Yeah, we're gonna start doing insulation.
Oh, good. All right. So you're past the tough stuff. So you're ready to roll on it. And then the question you had was where to find properties.
Yeah, right now, because we are thinking about next step, and when we go to like a MLS, there's nothing there, so don't know where.
Where did you find the first 2 you bought?
Well, from realtors.
Okay.
From realtors. Yeah.
Were they listed or?
Yeah, one is a realtor we just moved here, and he sent out the flyer, and we called her. She got us a property, but I think she lied. End up she said the price is. She told us the price after renovation is much higher. Actually, didn't sell that high.
Okay. Yep. That's not uncommon, but you know, they just kind of give you the wishful thinking. So I'll tell you what we can do. Let's set a call up for, you know, not to really, well, maybe tomorrow or Thursday or Friday, and let's do a dive, because we've never done the dive into that, because when you came into the program, you had deals. So we really were focusing on finishing them and learning about contractors and all that. So this would be a good time to kind of take what we originally could have done and spend a little bit of time figuring out your market and what would be the best strategy for it. So it does require a little bit of diving and trying and diving and trying. But if you're willing to work with me and get it dialed in, we can really dial it in, and we can figure out, like me and Ray were able to dial it in very quickly and get some really awesome results. And every student really that's put any energy or time into it has been able to figure it out. So at the end of the day, that's kind of what we need to do next, figure out like what's going to work in your market, whether it's marketing, whether it's MLS, it's wholesalers, but there's always something. You already got, the way I look at it is, if you bought 2 deals, and, you know, then there's deals to be gotten. Like if you were finding them before you were doing all the stuff that I teach and do, there's a good chance you can still find them now. And, but, you know, we might have to, look under some rocks and stuff. So I want to kind of figure that out, get knowing your market a little bit better. And then also figuring out what the perfect price point would be, you know, how to really strategically fund the deal. There's a lot of decisions to be made, because we have to dial in on where like the flips are really going on, not where people are doing like redevelopment. Because a lot of what I heard about where your house is now, it sounded like a lot of people were redeveloping. I have to be honest, I'm really glad you guys decided not to add a second floor to that house, because with everything going on with COVID, like I said, everything's been pretty strong, but I wouldn't want to be selling like one of the highest solds in the neighborhood, you know, like the highest comp right now at $1 million or 900,000. So I'm pretty glad you guys decided not to do the whole second floor and go for that, you know, top dollar number, because I'm not certain you would easily be able to get it, to be honest. I mean, especially with what's going on now. And it's one of the reasons I hate doing this type of homes, because there's ever a shift in the economy, they're the first ones to take a big hit. And, you know, where you now still, even though you're at a higher price point, that's not a very high price point for where you are. All right. You're a little more affordable part of the price point now.
Hey, so, Mike.
Yeah, Jeff.
It's actually interesting. I agree with you, but in North Jersey, where we are, actually the homes that are selling the most are the expensive ones, because everybody's trying to leave New York City. There's a huge influx, exodus of very wealthy people. So like in Livingston, where we live, the houses that are above $1 million are really selling for the first time.
Oh, wow.
And that's a localized thing for New York and North Jersey.
That makes sense. People, I guess you guys are like the slums again, compared to them.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
900,000 is like, we need a deal, so we're going to come to the cheap area, which is not far away. How far are you guys from New York City?
How far a train?
It's about 20, 30 miles. I mean, from Livingston, at the top of our street, there's a bus that goes right into the city. So it is a good commute for folks.
Okay, got it. But still a reasonable one, I guess.
Yeah.
And you said you can take a train there?
A train from that first house we had that we just sold.
Okay.
That was close to Union train station. From the other house that we're working on right now in Livingston, you walk a couple hundred yards up and there's a bus that goes right into Port Authority.
Oh, good. Okay. Awesome. Well, I'm sure that's a thing for some people. So yeah, either way, like when you're at the top of any price point, it's always going to be a smaller buyer's pool than if you're a little bit under it. So I'm sure that if it's crazy at that price point, then it's even crazier where you're going to be. So that's good news that you'll still, you know, likely you won't be really affected by Corona. Like we've seen a lot of good stuff with Corona. It's actually been surprisingly great. And every day it gets more conclusive. I mean, every day someone calls me, it's like, Mike, you're right. I can't believe it. I just got like way more than I ever expected to get from my house. And like people were like fist fighting over my house, because I've been saying it for a while, but you know, I was also saying it with like a disclaimer of like, I'm saying it, but let's see what happens. Because I'm no fortune teller, but I'm telling you what I see is like what looks like is going to happen. But let's pay attention to see if I'm wrong, because I want to know if I'm wrong too. I want to be the first one to know that. I certainly don't want to live in some kind of fantasy land. And I've had nothing but people calling me saying, Mike, you're 100% right. I haven't had a single person say, no, man, you're wrong. It's like awful. I mean, I just haven't. I mean, everyone's been shocked by how well their house has been selling. But again, you know, certain price points and, you know, really desirable price points, the market's been moving really well. And I don't think that's going to go anywhere right now, because it's just so much cheaper to own than it is to rent right now. And it might not be the case where you live, but like you said, you have New York money coming, so you're still a good value play. So everything's perspective, right? If, you know, it's $2 million to live in New York City and they can live for 900,000, a nice big house, you know, 30 miles away. People might be considering that. Fact is, they probably don't. You know, New York City's not. It's probably lost some of its desirability right now with everything going on. So people might be a good reason to push people out to like the county kind of side of things. So cool. Well, that's good stuff, man. Send me a text and let's set up a time in the next few days just to have a conversation and dig into it deeper. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I have another question. So sure. I'm trying to do the outside exterior, like a landscaping. So there's a path from the garage side to the back door. So there was like a broken concrete path. So I asked the guy, it's too expensive, but he suggested we can put like a crushed stone, like white crushed stone, then put some concrete steps and keep some distance. Then he said that's gonna be cheaper. Do you think it's okay to do that?
If you send me a pic, I could probably give you better advice, if I can see what you're talking about, because visualizing it, so the steps need to be redone is what you're saying, but then the walkway that goes to the steps is what's broken up.
Yeah.
It's a concrete slab, walking back alongside the garage and comes around to the side. And, so we'd like to make it look nicer, but the question is, would crushed stone be, I'm not sure that's the best thing because
I do crush stone a lot, but I'm talking about $200,000-$300,000 houses and I get away with it. But I would imagine that's probably not the best thing at your price point. And I would bet that nobody in your neighborhood has crushed stone. So I probably would go concrete. Concrete can be a little more expensive, but what you can do that I think might be a fair alternative is instead of ripping the concrete up and doing it from scratch, you might be able to take and do like a top coat of concrete. We do this quite commonly where we put like a ½ inch to an inch of concrete on top of what's existing and take up any humps, and it's called top coating it. And like not everyone's willing to do it, but if you get like a general person who is willing to do it, like I have Spanish guys that do it and they'll go over concrete and it makes it look new. And it's cheaper because like, they're kind of saving what's existing. I'm not saying it's like a lifetime thing, but it's something that certainly can jazz it up and make it look right. And it doesn't look like you're putting some stone in because it actually isn't that cheap you got to rip up all the concrete and then throw crushed stone down. So, I mean, that's at least some money itself, but if no one else is doing it, I generally won't. But I can get away with it at $200-300K because no one, like people just they're not going to complain about much. But if I'm in a neighborhood where everyone's driveway is concrete and a lot of things, I'm probably going to try to find a concrete solution, right? Okay. And even if it's like just maybe top coating it instead of like doing all new.
Do you think how much is that going to cost?
Send me a picture so I can get a feel of how much it is, and I'll tell you, because then I can actually look at it and give you better advice, because I don't want to kind of just say something and then not actually have any facts behind it, because that way I can just say, okay, that makes sense, and I give you my best guess. But look at it and think about how long you think it would take like a concrete guy or someone who's handy with concrete to do. I've had whole driveways top coated by like one dude in a day, and I mean, it cost me $400 or $500. I mean, it was pretty cheap. But he was pretty talented too. I mean, he's really good at it. He's the one that kind of showed me you can do it. I asked him to kind of patch it, where you could see the patches. And I come back and he had coated the whole thing and made it all look consistent. And he's like, well, it didn't take that much longer to do it. I mean, he didn't charge me a couple $100 more, but I was like, well, it looks like brand new concrete. That's awesome. Like I usually would get away with just taking the cracks and then digging them out and just patching them. And it didn't look great. I mean, it looked okay, but it was enough to pass an inspection. People kind of let it slide and it wasn't perfect. Did look fixed though. It didn't look like really awesome. Yeah. So, now they're tending to do that nicer looking version because it don't take that long. It doesn't need a lot of concrete. They're basically just top coating it. They're using more like that stucco mix or like a really strong concrete mix that doesn't have rocks in it that can be laid very thin and that could be top coated on the stuff. It just isn't if you go to like a professional concrete person, they're not going to endorse it. They're going to be like, oh, that's not the way you do it. Everyone wants to rip it out and do it new because obviously you're paying the bill. Right. When it's your checkbook, everybody wants to go everything like by some kind of like concrete Association of America standard. But I've been doing it a lot and it's been holding up enough that no one's been complaining.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So we'll see. I mean, obviously I'll tell you what's happened 5 years from now, but we should be fine. So, okay. Awesome. Any other questions before we go or anything you guys want to talk over?
Yeah, I have another question. So tomorrow we're going to start painting the siding. I never done that before. Okay. I never have done that before, so I'm a little bit nervous because I don't know the guy. First time I use him, I don't know if he's good or not.
Well, I mean, as long as he's got some common sense, you should be fine. All it requires to paint siding, like Nancy did it today, and she said it took 2 guys 5 hours to paint her house, and she sent me some pictures. She has a house similar to yours. kind of similar, and it took two guys 5 hours, and they taped off everything. So all it really is required is to make sure that the house is, you know, pretty clean before they paint it. They're using a sprayer, because if they're not, then it won't stick to the siding as well. If they try to roll it, it goes on too thick. The sprayer is the secret, because you can just spray it, and I mean, they can spray it super fast, and they can spray the actual house, the color. That goes really quick. Like, you can get the house, like 2 coats on the house in about 5 hours. Generally, it takes no more than a day to do that. And then they'll spend like a day, day and a half cutting all the trim in white. They'll paint all the windows white. They'll paint all the gutters white. And then, you know, you'll do a color on the walls, and then you'll do like your doors and shutters a different color, like an accent color. And, you know, the whole thing should take like 2 guys, like 2 to 3 days max.
Using gutter, also use the white paint to
usually white for the gutters. Yep, white for the gutters, white for the window trim, and then we do like a grayish blue on the wall, and then like a darker navy blue on the shutters, and then you can do red on the door, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever kind of matches the kind of what's going on in the neighborhood. But that actually is kind of our tone that we like to use. And I think Nancy's going to be doing the red door. So if you we reach out, Nancy, I can share some of her pictures with you once she's done. In a couple days, she might have some pics of the color. You can see how you like it. And if you like it, then it's Sherwin-Williams, so you can get the color from there anywhere local.
Where did you get the vinyl paint? The guy?
Oh, so vinyl paint is the stuff that we use. So surprisingly, it's just an exterior paint. The key is that it's a good quality exterior paint. We use stucco mix that has primer and paint mixed together, but you can just literally, if you go to Sherwin-Williams, you just tell them you want a good paint to spray on, that's going to be a good exterior paint. It almost all sticks to vinyl because, you know, when it's sprayed on, it makes it go on so fine that it sticks really well. The key though, and this is a really little fine point that I'm glad you asked, because I can save you a little headache. Make sure you use like a flatter paint on the siding, because a lot of times people want to use shiny paint because they're like, oh, it's outdoors, it needs to be semi-gloss. Problem with semi-gloss is it kind of peels off, and also it looks really shiny and ugly. If you really look at siding, it's never shiny. It's always kind of a flatter look to it. So if you really want it to look like you didn't spray paint it and you want it to look like real siding, the key is you'd probably want to go flat, or whatever the next version of flat is. I think it's satin potentially. No shinier than satin or flat, by the way. And then you just get a good quality exterior paint, and that's all you should need. If you do go to Sherwin-Williams, I think they have a siding paint that you can buy, but it's like $100 for 5 gallons. It's going to be a little more expensive, and it's certainly fine to use that. I'll tell you, I've used it once and then I didn't use it, and the stuff that I'm using that's cheaper, I've had no issues with any problems with it. It just sprays on. I don't know, Nancy, are you still on the call? Let's see if she can answer, if she's still around, what she used just recently. Because she just got done painting her house. She literally just sent me pictures. I can actually show you the pics of what they did in like 5 hours.
So she didn't use the vinyl paint, just to use
I'm going to ask her that, but I'm pretty sure she did not, because I don't want to say this. She's probably not listening, but she is cheap. She's cheap. You got to watch her. I'm pretty sure she didn't use that, because I'm sure she would have been like, what? It's pretty expensive. That's why I never use it. And honestly, I use that and I use the other stuff, and can't really see the difference, to be upfront. So let's see where she sent it from. I mean, I got like 50 emails today, but they were like from something weird, and I don't know how to find it. It's like she was sending it from her phone or something, and it was pictures of the house they did. So maybe you can find them actually. Got so much going on in here. God, I just cleared my email like 8 minutes ago. And it's funny how many things come into my email so quickly. So it's like a number, let's see. Hey, good news. My $280,000 house, the one I sold for $50K over list, I had to get 2 appraisals, and I got both of them to go through. So I got both appraisals done. That's awesome. I'm like really happy about that. Now I'm sad that I didn't try to get 300 from them. Oh, here it is. Cool. So you guys see that?
Okay.
So, I mean, this is just the first coat, so it looks ugly, obviously, but this is what it looks like. I mean, you can't tell it's painted. You can see here's the guy doing it. Let's see if we can make this bigger. So she just sprayed that. I mean, it's a pretty big house. I mean, it went all the way around the house. They got all that done, got the foundation done. And they did all that in 5 hours. You can see that's plastic, where they just put some plastic over the stuff so they didn't get the grit. If they've got smarts, what you can do is I actually teach people to use a big fan you can buy at Home Depot, so you don't have to do all that plastic taping. But still, 2 guys did that in 5 hours. And I don't know what she's paying them, but then you see they got it all in the windows, but she's replacing the windows. So it doesn't matter. When she replaced the window, they'll put new capping on it. It'll all look new and fresh. And then if they want, they can paint that gutters, and they might be in good enough condition where she's not painting the gutters. She's actually just, you know, she might just be power washing them. Now she'll do some shutters here, hopefully, and that'll look nice. And then if her door's red, that'll look really nice. It'll all come together once, you know, the landscaping's done and everything else is done. And we're talking about maybe putting a portico right here, maybe, but we're looking at budgets and letting the budget decide. But yeah, that didn't take long. I mean, if you're spraying, man, I'll tell you, it goes really fast. Me and my cousin painted a little Cape Cod, and we did it in like 4 hours. It was like unreal how fast you can do it. So you'll get, but I've had people say, hey, it's $3,500 to paint a house. And then I've had students, I'm like, why don't you just go buy the sprayer and just you and your wife go do it? I'm not telling you guys to go do it, but you get what I'm saying. I was like, they were kind of handy and they like getting involved. I'm like, why don't you guys just go do it?
Yes, I got 2 quotes. One is 4,000 and this guy is 1,500.
Yeah, 1,500 is the most you'd want to pay. But yes, if they can paint everything outside for 1,500, that's fair. Because you're in New Jersey, so it costs a little more. I probably pay like, I don't know what Nancy paid for this, but I mean, you know, 2 guys for half a day, they probably got another day to finish out all the trim. I mean, I'd probably pay someone about $1,000 to do this, but 1,500 sounds fair. 4,000 is ridiculous.
Way too much, yes.
You could tell somebody 4,000, you probably get them to come from Maryland to you for that. They might travel up there and like sleep on your living room floor on a air mattress for 4,000. It might even be me and Ray. Actually, we might be coming up to do it for $4,000. So I mean, please, if you're ever going to hire someone for $4,000, I'll be going to get my Harbor Freight sprayer and traveling. I will, because I mean that's just so much that like, I mean that's more homeowner price. And but you know, there's good money to be made at 1,000 doing this. These guys 2 days making $1,000. I mean, think about that. I mean, they're bringing in $3-4 grand a week. You know, they can bring in, and I don't know how they're splitting it up, but that's reasonable pay for them. Really good money. And then somebody making 1,500 and it takes them like 2 days, they should knock that right out. But yeah, there's the color. This looks not good when you first paint, but obviously as you trim everything in, it really starts to come together. You gotta have the vision for it. So yeah, this is a nice house. Actually sold him this house. That lady called me today too. I gotta call her back, the owner of it, for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I bet she got Nancy's thing she was looking for, some kind of permit or something.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what kind of like a cheaper version of the.
I'll find out from her, but honestly, if you just tell them you want exterior paint and flat, that's going to be fine to paint siding if they're spraying.
Oh.
You know, seriously, you don't need any kind of special. You know, it'll go right on. You see, when they put it in the sprayer, it adds air into the paint. So it takes the paint and it creates like, you know, when you guys spray paint, it puts little tiny particles of paint on. And when it does that, it puts the coats on so well and so evenly that they stick and bond really well. I've had times where I've sprayed a house and the wind blew it onto my vehicle and I couldn't get it off, like overspray from 25 foot away. I couldn't get it off my car. And it's just regular paint, right? You know that I paid $55 or $60 for 5 gallons. Believe me, I didn't overpay for it. It wasn't expensive stuff. And I couldn't even get it off my car. But now if you roll it on, you could buy the $200 for 5 gallon stuff and it'll peel right off because it puts it, like globs it on, and it makes it too thick of a layer and it doesn't go on as evenly and as strong. So it doesn't bond as well. So the spray gun is the key. Anyone trying to roll or paintbrush the outside of a house is not a painter. And do not hire them, because that's, first of all, it's going to take them forever. And honestly, it's not as good of a job. It doesn't cover as well. There's a lot of problems with it. The sprayer puts things on really well, and it is the perfect tool for them to make money and for your job to turn out well.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Any other questions I can help with?
Mike, this is Shauna.
Hey, Shauna.
Hey, I just wanted to give you an update on my negotiations with Washington Capital Partners.
Okay.
Okay, so remember when you spoke to him about the me paying the whole wholesaler fee?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, they went up on me and stuff, and on the want even more cash for me to bring. And so I talked to him. I'm like, well, he had negotiated a small reduction in the interest rate. And I told him, but with less cash, it's going to take me longer to get the house done. And so that's going to negate that little bitty discount on the interest you were giving me. And so he saw my point. I talked to him after I talked to you the second time. I kind of laid a guilt trip on him on how disappointing this was, blah, blah, blah. So then he said he was going to go to the CEO. So basically they're going to, we're going to, half of the wholesale fee, they are going to finance. And so then that puts me back where I would have been. So
okay,
everything worked out. So I'm good to go. Plus I did dig up extra cash anyway, just in case and stuff.
But
and
you
so
didn't have to give it to them. And honestly, so I don't know if you weren't on the call earlier, and I was definitely basically blacklisting them because look, at the end of the day, you guys always get what you want with them, but I feel like I don't have the energy to have to guilt trip people and deal with that shit all the time. Just do what you promised, right? They made a promise to you, and then they multiple times have went back on it. The first time we gave them a pass because of Corona, and they were like, "Oh, Corona," and I'm like, "Okay, great." I hate when people use Corona because I'm keeping all my promises right now. You hear me like calling up my lender and be like, "Hey man, I can't make the payments this month. Corona." Like, no, I'm doing what I got to do. I'm waking up early in the morning, staying up late, and I'm making sure my business is safe and it's viable and that everything's good. When I thought there could be a problem with Corona, now that I know there's not, I'm still working really hard and I've kind of gotten a routine of it. And I'm just excited to make Corona a good thing, right? A blessing in disguise. But I don't like working with people that I got to add that much energy to give them business. I feel like you put a lot of energy in to give them business, and the problem with them, they're going to be like that every time. But next house, we'll get you a better person, and we're going to put them on the blacklist because you're like the third person they kind of did that to, and I chalked it up as like a bad day on the first two, but now I'm starting to see a pattern. And I had to go to the CEO. Man, forget the CEO. If they could have taken that off in the first place, why didn't they just do it? Why don't they just do what they're supposed to do in the first place and then not have to have these conversations? See, they're willing to have these conversations. I'm embarrassed to have conversations like this. And whatever that is about me, maybe that makes me awful at some things, but I can tell you, I would be embarrassed to give you my word and then come back and be like, yeah, I know I gave you my word, but Corona, so, I gotta do something completely different. Forget it. I would be embarrassed to do that. So like if I ever had to have that conversation, which I can't even tell you, I can count on my hands how many times I've had to go back on my word in my life, since my adult life. I'm not going to count under 18 life, but as an adult, a legal adult, it's been on my hand how many times I can count that I've had to go back, and I don't do it lightly. They do it for sport, it seems like. They're doing it with like 3 students over a couple months, and it just feels like the way they run their business, honestly. That's my opinion of them, and it offends me, honestly. Since I'm so passionate about keeping my word, it actually offends me when other people don't. It pisses me off, and I know it pissed you off and annoyed you, and it annoyed, I think the other person was Les who worked with him, and it was annoying to him. And the Darshan, he's really chill, so he's like, whatever. He's like, okay, whatever. He's so chill. I think it probably annoyed him a little, but he kind of didn't care because he's super chill. But, probably a little too chill, honestly, because it was, so anyhow, he'll probably work with someone different too. Because I don't like to have to go back and fight and then last minute argue and feel like they're putting the deal on the line kind of thing. Like for me, that's not what we want. We want certainty. So that's what I was talking about earlier. We really want our lender to be someone we can trust and will actually get the settlement. We know they're not going to throw curveballs at us last minute.
Yeah. And I finished up my budget, so I'm going to shoot that to you. And so maybe, we can talk about it later or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Send it over. Right. I'll take a look at it and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Now, did you settle or are you going to settle soon?
Soon.
Oh, good. Good. Okay. Congratulations then. That's awesome. Good news. Well, awesome. A lot of good things going on. Sounds like everybody's doing well, and I'll talk to everybody next week. Was there anybody?
Mike, I had a question.
Sure, go ahead. And there's someone else. Who else was talking?
I want your phone number. I misplaced my phone. I don't have any numbers.
What were you saying?
Give me your phone number again. I've misplaced my phone. I don't have any contact.
Oh, it's 443.
443.
858.
858.
3317.
3317. Thank you.
All right, and then Ashley.
Yeah. So I had sent you the drawing from Michelle.
Okay.
When I met with her, she was saying that we may need to put a pole in the kitchen somewhere because she thinks that wall we were going to remove to open up from the living room to the kitchen and the dining room may have been bearing. So, but I can't tell in the drawing if she put it anywhere.
Well, let's see. Where did you send it to? Because I don't actually. Well, where'd you send it from?
You should still find it if you type in my name.
Let's see, from your email. That's the last thing I got. You can see my.
No, because it's my other email.
Oh, okay. What's your other email? Let's see that one.
Type in Hit Crown.
I only have one.
That's the only one. Type in maybe 3810 Hillsdale, because that was the subject.
Yeah,
Yep, that looks it. Let's see. Take a look at them. See what we got going on. Okay. Is everything the same of what we put in? Did it all work out, or did she have to make any changes?
Everything else seems to work out. I think she did something weird with the closet on the second floor, though.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not the closet, with the pantry actually in the kitchen.
Okay. We'll take a look at that. So hall bath, is that the way the hall bath is currently?
So okay, no, she did move it up.
She did move it around. So just to, ask her to put it back where it is, because you don't want to move all the plumbing just for the fun of it. I do like, well, for a change, I like where she put it, because usually she never does that. But I don't know if you need to move the plumbing around to be up front. But I don't know. So, and then what is this bedroom 2? So what I don't know I can't tell, but it looks like this bathroom is smaller than it actually is in real life.
Yeah. So that hall bathroom actually is the add-on bathroom that we're gonna add in.
Oh, it's the add-on we're going to add in.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we were adding a bathroom in the master suite is where we're adding right here.
No, the master already has a bathroom. We were just gonna
already has a bathroom.
That was the only bathroom on that.
You know what I'm getting confused is Shauna's house. I looked at Shauna's house. Confusing Shauna's house is what we're saving. Never mind. Okay, got it.
So many houses on the drain.
I know. I was like, I'm certain about this. Okay, got it. So this is a good layout because this is how it should be laid out. This layout looks good for the master. Everything looks good.
The only thing with that, does it matter if the sink is on the wrong wall? Like the sink, does that matter?
When you say it's on the wrong wall, what does that mean?
It should have been like along that 4x11, I guess.
You can switch that around, but if it's 4x11, you won't get a double vanity. And I don't know if she has a double vanity in there now either.
It has a single. We were supposed to be putting a double there.
We need to get the double. So what I don't know, what I thought might be happening, and that's what we were trying to figure out. So let's see. She's got 9.6. That's difficult to get a double in a 9.6. But I thought we were going to squeeze a little bit out of like either the closet or something. But that's only 4.2. Can we squeeze the closet over a little more potentially? I don't know.
So we moved into it. We're creating that master closet because it doesn't exist right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're creating that by going into bedroom 2. We're taking away from bedroom 2, and then we're expanding bedroom 2 the other way to give it back some room.
So are we okay not doing a double vanity, or maybe we just do like a 42-inch vanity or something?
If we have to, we were really trying to make it work. It was going to be tight, you had said.
Well, if you're only 9.6, I don't know. I mean, if you go across here, you can do a double vanity that you only got 411. So you'd have to special order a double vanity. You can get ones that are like, I don't know. I think 60 is a normal size, but you can get stuff 52 if you special order them. And 411 would be like a 52 would work perfect. It does cost a couple $100 more. It's a little more expensive, but you could make a double vanity work if you go this way. And all you have to do is just ask her to put a 52-inch double vanity across this wall and make that small change. And, just mark it with like some pencil and say, hey, can you just change that? And I think you can make that work from what I'm seeing. Because, I mean, if the toilet's here, I don't see any reason that would not, that wouldn't work fine. But, we'll get a smaller one. We'll have to special order it, so we'll find that ahead of time. So other than that, everything's working. And we have 3 bedrooms and 2 baths above grade. That's sweet. It's always good. Okay. Now we're going to go, this is the first floor here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Close this up.
So let's see what's going on here. Let's see. So I know we had that bedroom was existing. This is the back of the house. This is the front of the house. Okay, got this living room. What about this wall? Is this wall supposed to move here?
So I don't know. I guess if she was saying we can't because we wanted to open up everything.
She's saying you need like some kind of bearing thing there or something.
I think that's what I'm thinking.
So this might be a good place to challenge her a little bit and just say, is there a way to even just cut it back a little?
Okay.
Because it's kind of long right here. And I mean, this would totally work, by the way. I don't see any reason this wouldn't work.
But isn't it kind of just weird? Like, what would it be? There's no door. Is it just a doorway? Like, I'm just kind of trying to even.
I mean, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I think it just ends up being like a walkthrough, essentially. And this kind of becomes like a fake hallway with like a little walkthrough. But it just is a walkthrough. And you can put the wall there. It's not going to kill your layout. And what she's probably saying is you need a little bit of like support or something there, obviously. So there must be a reason she left it there. But you can challenge her and ask her, is there any way we can cut it down? I mean, it is a little weird right here, but it all does seem to work the way she did it. You got 6 foot as the island though, which is not impressive.
And I thought we were going for 9 feet, so I don't know.
Well, we would have, but then this thing, there's got to be a way to move this. So I'd have a more conversation around, is there a way we can move this or something we can do? I mean, even if this wall could come out a little more, like to here.
Okay.
I don't know, and maybe the beam could go across like that or something. I mean, there's definitely a way to put a beam. Let me see if I can actually get the markup working. Just let's see. So what I would think is there's a way to put probably like a beam across like that. You know what I mean? That's a beam.
Yeah.
But your ceilings were nice and high. And then
Yeah, they were.
get rid of that maybe, but maybe there's not. I could be wrong about this, so I don't know. But if there's a way we can try to work this out, because if we can get rid of this, then this can go a little farther. And honestly, it's even weirdly placed to where it is, by the way. It's so weirdly placed because it's past this that just don't work, honestly.
Yeah, it's not.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And then what is all this? A pantry and some other stuff?
That's why I'm confused. All we had, it was just supposed to be a pantry, so I don't know. We were supposed to be taking it over because it wasn't. We thought we may not have enough clearance for the fridge, because the fridge is going to be right to the right of the stove. So we wanted to move over the entrance to the pantry to where she.
Right in here, right?
Right there.
You
Yeah.
wanted it right here. So yeah, this is where she's kind of. You'll need to get her to adjust this a little bit for us. Okay, because this is weird. I'm like, it's always a little stuff.
Yes, I need to tell her that's just
so
entrance.
I'm thinking that it needs to be like right here is your cabinets, right? Something. I mean, obviously, because it's kind of far, and I mean, it could be like that. And then now it makes a little more sense. And this still works now. And what you could easily do is this closet. I don't think you need all this.
No, I don't. That wasn't supposed to be a closet. All of that was supposed to be the pantry. So I think she just didn't realize what the door was that we wanted.
Okay, so
right
here's
there.
what I would do, and I think this would let you do a little more Olin, potentially, is I would take and build the pantry like this. Let me see. Actually, I would build a pantry just like this. Oops, let me see if I can get it right. Get my marker working. So I'd make this the pantry. Oh, goddamn, why did that stop that? Oh, man. I wish I
don't like up there.
I mean, I don't know how to use it. I'm always guessing with it, but you get an idea what I'm saying, and then maybe it could be like doors like right here.
Okay.
It'd be nice if it would actually stay because I like marking it, but then it's this. Like, where are you going, man? Come on back. Oh, all right. Well, I'm seriously. Hopefully you're getting an idea, so you can kind of, if you put a pantry right here and then got rid of all this, then you could take this and bring this down even with the rest of the cabinets like that.
Okay, so then we would move the pantry over a little bit to the right then. Oops.
You just make it like a little pantry across the wall like this, so you'd have the pantry and just open this all up. You're just getting rid of this little junk here and opening it all up. So you can take the island even with this. Now that adds like at least 2 feet to make it 8 feet. And now you're bringing this kitchen a little farther, so your dining room gets bigger. We get away from this wall. So if whatever has to happen with this wall can work now. But we're still making our kitchen feel a lot bigger this way because this kind of breaks the kitchen up in an odd way. We don't need a coat closet coming in. I talked to everyone about this, but I mean, honestly, I don't think I put a coat closet on any house. But we want that kitchen like to shock people when they come in. Honestly, right now you come in, you're kind of looking into that wall right there. So I kind of like putting the pantry here and opening this all up. So they're just looking and seeing a nice pantry here. They're seeing a nice kitchen. Dining rooms now feels bigger because now this is gone out the dining room. So the dining room feels bigger. Living room's huge. We got like good size on everything.
What is that thing right there to in the dining room that's square?
Right here?
No, in the dining room. Yeah,
that's the refrigerator.
Oh yeah, it's not supposed to be there. It was supposed to be.
Yeah. So I know. Just ask her if she can actually just follow the drawings. I feel like, I mean, this is you guys are my frustration. Like, just follow the drawings.
Yeah.
So that's like, you're too smart to follow anyone's drawings. Like, she's a know-it-all. But I have to tell you, there's never been a time where I've been like, oh, I really like what she did. It's always like, well, we spent a lot of time figuring this out, and like your drawing is. It looks like you spent 20 minutes, and I spent like 2 hours figuring it out.
Like, why is it in the dining room?
I know. So, like, honestly, I think just to ever make these changes back to where, and then, like, this stuff doesn't really matter much, honestly.
Okay.
So you could white it out, but if you like, start figuring out where you're going to put it, you could always white out her stuff. For permits, it won't matter if you move the plumbing around here. But they'll just want to know, they're really going to care about where the walls are. They'll care that, like, if you are going to knock this out, they'll want that to be cleared off on the permit. So you get what I'm saying. They're going to care about some of that stuff. And then if you can get all the plumbing in the right place in the tub, then it works as, it serves as something you don't have to white out and repair, so it's real clear for your person. But you can always print it out, white it out, and clean it up if you need to, like for cabinet design, because it's sometimes tough to get the cabinet design perfectly thought out before you even get started. So I would, right now, you will need to know it pretty soon. But let's just get her to change this overall so you can look at it.
Yeah.
I'm not hating the way she has it right now. I don't think that's, reading off the bat, she's got this here. So in the island goes the dishwasher and the sink. So and here's fridge and stoves. Just ask her if she can make those changes for you. She will. She's always pretty nice about it. She never gives us any problems. So that's the only reason she still works with us.
Okay. So the biggest thing is trying to figure out if we could get rid of those random little or
do something to make them look a little neater. It's kind of weird on the drawing. So I don't know. Just ask her if there's anything we can do to improve that. Or, I feel like they at least should be straight. They kind of feel a little off to me. But
I think the issue is because those houses that's how the doorways were. So she just left them.
Okay, well, just ask her if there's anything you can do to make that not a problem. And
look a little
challenge her, and she puts a little more energy into it. She is an architect, so generally, if you tell her what you really are looking for, she'll think a little bit, and she'll probably come up with a good solution.
Okay.
I would say this is her just being a little lazy. That's all. Just that's like she knows I'm not gonna go. She tried to tell me in my personal house, I can't get a beam across here. I'm like, don't send me drawings back without a beam across here. I'm not putting, then just put a post right in the middle. I'm like, I'm not putting a post right in the middle of my island, my personal house. I'm just like, you figure it out. She's like, I don't know. And I'm like, come back to me when you figure it out. And she's like, I can just do this then. I'm like, yeah, okay, great. Well, I'm glad I didn't end up with a 6x6 post in the middle of my island, like coming out the center, like a tree coming out the center of my island because you didn't want to take an extra 10 minutes to think it over. So, I'm not saying I'm always right about this, but most of the time, if you get her to think a little, you get a better result.
Okay. And does that part over there at the other side of the dining room with the sliding tables look right? Sliding tables, the sliding door. Because I told her I was gonna have a little landing and some stairs. So
move window and widening opening to add 6-foot sliding door. So no, actually I put a 5-foot slider, not a 6-foot slider.
Okay.
Okay, so just ask her to change it to 5-foot slider. The reason is you don't need bigger than 5 foot, and 5 foot's like $300-400 for the slider. 6 foot costs a little more, and I don't think you need more than 5 feet. It's acceptable. It'll look great. It's way bigger than a door. It'll open this whole thing up a little bit, make it feel nice.
Okay.
Okay. All right, awesome. This is really looking good. This layout's coming together. So just some small tweaks, but I'm glad that you're taking the time to tweak it and get it really right, and then she can get this stuff in for you, and you're looking like a professional, rehabber right here with all these drawings. It's awesome.
Is the basement okay? The next one? Because
let's take a look. So down the steps. It seems like
initially
what we looked at.
we had a room there, but since the ceilings aren't high enough, I think she just didn't put it there since it can't be a legal room.
Okay. So where do we have a room at? Where it's laundry or mechanical?
She kind of. I don't even know. The drawing is really different than what we had. It was kind of somewhere like in the family.
Did we want to put a bedroom down there?
We did.
We're going to do luxury unfinished because if she can finish a family,
we're going to put a bedroom but make it a luxury unfinished.
Okay, so if we can do a family room, luxury unfinished, then we can do a bedroom. But just tell her not to call it a bedroom, and we know it's not a legal bedroom. We're just going to put something there they could use as a bedroom. Or let's call it an art room or a workout room or whatever it is, right? The bottom line is if they choose, someone could be using that space as a doored off private space. So because you don't need that laundry room and the mechanical room to be so big, right? Either one of those rooms, like the mechanical room would likely serve the purpose. The laundry room, I can't tell how big it is, if it would be big enough, but I don't know. It looks like it has a door out of it. That could be the extra bedroom or art room or whatever you want to call it. And this could be the mechanical room. So, you might just want to see if there's a way. Just tell her, I want to leave it to where people could use it. So you just would have a door that goes in here. And this would be, however big this is, it could be looked at as an extra bedroom. Like when we list a property, we're going to call it a bedroom, right? Because no one's going to call us out on it. It's not legal, but like I bet you someone ends up using it for whatever they want. It's it gives them options, right? It really gives people more options.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
Change that. Again, some changes, but it's good to, I guess you're seeing all little stuff she can take care of in like 10 minutes, honestly.
And then my last question is about like my draw schedule. Because I had contacted Mike, and he was asking for me again. So I sent him the budget that we had created last time, and he said that was sufficient. But, you know, I guess because I don't really know how to like typically break things down to give them to him. So do I need to do a different kind of draw schedule?
So what I would do is start with all the stuff you need to do first, which is demo. You know what I mean? I don't know if you need waterproofing. I can't remember, but I think you might. I don't know if you need it or not, but you know, demo, waterproofing, framing, electric, plumbing, HVAC, right? That generally you can get a draw once you've done that. And it's going to cost you about $20,000 or $25,000 to get all that done. It's a big portion of the work, by the way. And you can get a draw before you're done all that. Like you just rough in of those things, and they don't have to be complete 100%. But as you complete line items, and those line items add up to be enough to get a draw, then that's when you get a draw. So obviously, you're not going to be like, I did a demo. Can I get a draw for $2,000? No, I mean, I can do that. But once you've done the demo, you've done framing, and, you know, you've done things that are actually adding up. And then what you'd send him is just like, hey, I've done all these line items. And here's what we had in the budget for those line items for labor. Can I get a draw? Labor and material. Can I get a draw? Right. Okay. So that's, and generally I would say, do you know how many draws you got? Was it like 3 or 4?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can just ask for them, and then they'll just charge you for them. If they haven't already charged you, then they'll charge you later for it. I think Steve said he got 5 draws, so you can ultimately get probably as many as you need. So when you get about 10 to 15K in work and it's complete, you know, then you can try to get draws for completed work. So sometimes it takes you like 20K to get 15K in completed work, because you might have 15K in completed work, but 5K in work that's in progress. So this is why, this is where the float comes in the draw. So ultimately, as you actually complete like a handful of things that add up to be substantial, then ask for a draw, and he'll be more than, you know, send him pics, he'll come out, whatever it is. He'll be more than happy to give you the draw. I mean, I've heard nothing but good stuff today about him. A couple people, Steve's been working with him for a while in his house, and he's like, man, he's really easy to work with.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about that. I mean, just, you know, make sure you're not going to call them for 5K, but I would say when you get to where you feel like you got 15K in completed line items, that'd be a good time to get a draw.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. See you guys. I'm gone for today, and I'll see everybody next week. And once I hear some of these phone calls, I'll either record them or find a way for you guys to check them out if they call me back. Okay. And Petey and Billy, just keep running your funnel so we can fill it up with some additional people. And I'll keep working with you on your funnel until we get you someone. Okay. Because like I said, I've been trying to get some practice myself, and I want to kind of get a good feel for how long it's taking, what it's taking. So if people say, Mike, it's not working, coronavirus, you know, things are different, I want to be able to like substantially say, okay, I tried it, it is working, or hey, it's not, and here's what we need to do different. So that's why I've been trying to jump in and do some of this myself, because I just want to see if it's something you're doing because you're newer, or is it Corona actually, right? Is Corona actually creating a problem? So far, I mean, we only have a small sample size of the plumber, but we were able to get a plumber. Right now, you know, we have a small sample size of 20 people, and we only talked to half of the people we wanted to talk to. So we'll see by the time we're done and we run it for a few more days. I'm sure we'll end up probably being able to get some people, but if not, then we'll figure out the adjustment, but I don't think we'll need one. So let me keep working through that with you guys, and we'll get to a conclusion. Okay. Everyone have a good week, and I'll talk to you guys next week, and I'll let you guys, we will have an infield training coming up in the near future once it's legal, but I don't know when that is. I'm waiting on it. And we might even press it a little bit and do something sooner, just to make sure Larry Hogan doesn't come popping up in our boot camp. All right, everyone, have a good evening. I'll talk to you guys later. See you later. Bye.